Hello everyone, Tommy Girl back with you once again for another episode of Let's Play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. In the last episode we finally finished up on Kashyyyk. We kind of screwed up the Wookiees. Made them slavers and made them subject to the slavers and you know, did things really out for ourselves though. But the Czerka Corporation was very thankful. We're about to go to Tatooine, but I'm going to talk to a few people first, and then we'll be on our merry little way.
Yeah, what are you...
Oh. Candace has nothing to say.
Your turn.
Now, I have to apologize. There might be a few slight changes when it comes to, like, what characters have to say and things like that, and that is because I made a mistake when I tried to record this episode a little while ago. I accidentally had the mic set up wrong, so it didn't record my commentary. And I found another file, an older file in my practice file, at the same point in the game. So it should be about the same, but there might be a few small differences. But I have a save file like once we get to Tatooine, so we'll go right back to where we were. So any of the changes will be negated. But if we miss a conversation or two with people, my apologies.
How may I be...
Alright, I was wondering if we could talk.
Is it?
Are you doing alright, Johanny?
I thank you for your concern, but I am still a bit shaken.
What's wrong?
I have been thinking about myself, about KotOR, and about my fall to the dark side.
KotOR.
I keep thinking that it was my anger that drove me that far, that nearly damned me. I look inside myself now and I can still see it. I still feel it.
Perhaps you just need more time.
More time would do me good. Time to distance myself from that anger. I think that is why the Council agreed to send me with you. They think, perhaps, that in your company, I will be able to free myself from it.
I cannot afford to look after you all the time, Johanny.
I do not come here begging for scraps from you. I will earn my way with you. You will see just how valuable I am.
Oh, okay, wow, that set her off, didn't it? Usually I'm a little bit like, oh, Johanny, it's okay, but, you know, that option was just too appealing to me. Too appealing indeed. Alright, so, let's talk to Carthy Poo.
Yes, what's on your...
Alright, we get more conversation. Tell me why you want revenge on Saul so badly.
I already told you, he betrayed us all.
It seems more personal than that.
Well, there is more to it. I'm sure you don't want to hear about it.
I asked, didn't I?
It's just that I don't talk about it very much, okay? I told you about my homeworld, Telos. 4 years ago, Saul led the Sith fleet there and demanded its surrender. The planet refused, and Saul proceeded to devastate its entire surface. Millions died. I had a wife and a son on Telos. I thought they would be safe there, but my task force arrived too late to be of much help. We didn't have enough medical supplies. The colony was burning and the dying were everywhere. I remember holding my wife and screaming for the medics, but they didn't come in time.
Aw, that's terrible. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Of course not. How could you? I had nothing left after that, really. I devoted myself to the fleet. Hunting Saul was my only purpose. I miss them. And I know killing Saul won't bring them back. And it won't make me happy again, but I have to do it. I don't expect you to understand, but I have to pay him back for what he's done. I have to. It's all I have left.
Aw. I didn't mean to pry.
Oh, it's all right. I don't mind. You deserve some kind of, explanation.
So what was she like, your wife?
She had courage, and she was stubborn. A little bit like you in that respect. Never talk her out of anything once she put her mind to it. And she hated it when I signed back onto the fleet at the start of the war. I had planned on leaving soon, to join her.
So what happened to your son? You didn't say.
His name was Dustil, and I don't know what happened to him. The colony was a complete ruin, and we never found any trace of him. I made inquiries and followed the reports from Telos for years, but I stopped. Anyway, that's the story, for what it's worth.
Alright, well, thank you for telling me.
I've, never talked about it before to anyone. Suppose it's time I finally did.
Oh, Carthy, Karth. Oh, I knew you cared. Alright. I think that catches us up. Like I said, I think there's one or two conversations that I was ahead in the save file, but no big deal. Once we switch to, we will be back to the original game and the save file that I will be using, so no big deal in the end. Alright, so we're going to Tatooine, so let's go ahead and do that.
Another vision. The Force is guiding us, helping us retrace the steps of Malak and his old master, leading us ever closer to the Star Forge. Tatooine is known for little but blowing sand. I find it surprising that there would be a star map somewhere in its desolate wastes.
Maybe Tatooine wasn't always a desert.
Perhaps, though that would have been tens of thousands of years in the past. Now there's nothing but the howling emptiness of the Dune Sea. The star map would likely have to be within some kind of shelter to protect it against dust and sandstorms. I suspect there are many such caves and caverns hidden in the sands of the Dune Sea. The creatures of this world probably use them as their lairs. No doubt things will become more clear once we discover the star map's location.
Alright. No doubt things will become more clear indeed. Now, I said I'd be switching save files once I got here. The thing is, the save file I tried to use is glitched, and let me explain how it glitched. I was in the cockpit, and it put me in a place behind Karth. See the spot behind Karth? It put me there, and I couldn't get out, even though the save spot was here. So we'll continue with the save thing until a little bit later. No big deal. Like I said, it shouldn't cause any major changes, and I'll switch. It'll be fairly subtle. I'll either tell you guys or be able to edit it in a way where it's not noticeable. But like I said, if you notice anything like, wait, this person was dressed in this before, well, that's because of my own silliness, and because of that glitchy save file. Alright, we want to go Jolee. Actually, I want to go Jolee Canderous. Yes. Excellent.
Welcome to Anchorhead, potential customer. Czerka Corporation stands ready to serve, after some formalities, of course. First, your ship is not on our list of planned arrivals for today. There is a docking fee of 100 credits because of this.
Sounds like a personal problem. What if I say no?
Czerka Corporation maintains this docking station at great expense. It is within our rights to refuse landing permission. And I warn you, we've had troublemakers before.
Oh.
The bay is lined with autoguns. Violence is not a survivable option.
I'm not sure you've had troublemakers quite like me before. Mwahaha. Alright, so anyway, you could reconsider the fee.
I assure you that the fee is non-negotiable. We have a very thin margin of profit on this world.
I don't need to pay the fee.
You know, I don't think you need to pay the fee. We'll let it go this time.
Reminds me of my old smuggling days. Nothing better than the old Jedi mind trick for getting past an overly curious customs officer.
This will cover any future landings as well. It's like a registration, so we can serve you better when you return. Now, as a customs officer, I can provide information on services. Is this visit business or pleasure?
Actually, I really need to get going.
As you wish. If you need anything else, I'll be here.
Oh, my apologies if you hear me, like, clear my throat occasionally. I'm getting over a cold. It's mostly gone, but occasionally I have that urge to cough or whatever, and so I'm going to try to just clear my throat subtly and not hack into the mic, because that would be very annoying. Anyway, there's nothing back here, but I'm just getting the There's another thing I can get some stuff out of. Another footlocker. Alright. Alright, now let's have a nice little conversation with Jolee. Jolee, how you doing?
Got something on your mind, dude?
Why did you decide to come with me?
You got yourself a fast little ship? I'd forgotten what engine sounded like. The closest thing to that on Kashyyyk is an uller in mating season. Ugh, frightful.
So you wanted a ride on my ship?
Or it could be for the free food. What's the gunk that comes out of a synthesizer on this bucket anyway? Do you never clean the darn thing?
Ew, that sounds gross. No wonder everybody's so, like, all the people are so skinny in the Star Wars universe. They eat, like, crappy synthesized stuff, apparently. Alright, tell me.
I'm old, damn it. I'm allowed to be enigmatic when I want to be. And don't you go telling me otherwise.
I like that word, enigmatic.
You remind me of someone else I knew ages ago. Pleasant enough fellow, great destiny, all of that. Breath like a bantha.
Is that a comment on my breath?
No, but it could be. An Anduvian salt tablet would clear that right up, you know.
Hey!
Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. Andor Vex was his name. The Force swirled around him like a hurricane. That's how great his destiny was.
I've never heard of him.
No, you wouldn't have. Sometimes swirling force is just swirling force. It gets us old Jedis excited at our age, so we go, ooh, destiny.
Ooh,
well,
destiny.
It turned out that poor Andor believed a wee bit too much in the infallibility of that destiny. That overconfidence turned out to be his downfall.
Does this story have a point?
Does it have to have a point? I thought we were just talking about Andor. Something wrong with your attention span? Let's see. Oh, yes, Andor's downfall. I was pretty young myself when it happened. At the time, I thought that Andor's destiny couldn't be more boring.
How young we talking?
Well, let's just say that I was a strapping young lad with a full head of hair.
Strapping young lad.
And Coruscant was a small town with a well. I was just about to abandon Andor to whatever the Force intended for him when his ship was overtaken by a Dimian warship. Now, you've probably never heard of the Dimians, but at the time they were a nasty lot led by a nastier overlord named Krat. Tall fellow, big teeth. Krat has us hauled onto the bridge of his ship for questioning, and that's when I knew that Andor's destiny was at hand.
Go on.
Well, Andor decides that his destiny makes him invulnerable and starts making all sorts of demands. Free me now. I'm not answering questions. Blah, blah, blah. Don't you know who I am? Krat decides he's had enough and begins crushing Andor's neck. I told the boy he should have kept his mouth shut. I think he agreed, too, or those could have just been gurgling noises. Well, anyway, finally, Krat has enough of Andor and tosses him aside into this giant energy intake shaft. Andor gets sucked in and starts bouncing around, screaming. Maybe Andor hit something sensitive on the way down, or just didn't agree with the reactor core. Next thing I know, all the ship's alarms are ringing.
You're kidding.
Everyone panics, and I run, barely making it to the ship in time before the explosion. Krat dies horribly, and the Dimians never quite recovered. Changed the political course of the entire sector for centuries to come. I'd call that quite a destiny, wouldn't you?
And what does that have to do with you coming with me?
Well, hey, the chances may not be great, but when one has the opportunity to see something like that twice in a lifetime... Anyway, go on. My throat is dry and you're making me cranky. Shoo!
I'm making you cranky. You just told me a story about a guy dying horrifically, and that was his fate. My fate's nothing like that, Jolee. How dare you? How dare you?
Excuse me,
Yes.
have you seen a mechanic about? Short fellow, bald. I've been looking...
Well, I'll be a Wookiee's uncle. Davin? Davin Coatress?
Jolee? Jolee Bindo? Why, you old freak. Last time I saw you, you were still wandering the galaxy in that old tug. I thought you were dead, old man.
I crashed somewhere and decided to stay.
Yeah, I'll just bet. Damn, old man, you look exactly the same as the last time I saw you. You pickle well.
You're too kind. Not the young lad anymore yourself, I see.
Is this what old people do when they get together? Talk about their pickled skin? Yeah. Oh, and by the way, that guy looks a lot like, is it Mr. Matale or Mr. Scoundrel from Tatooine? One of the others. He's definitely the same face, so that's kind of creepy. We killed you already, but no. Somebody else. Reused model. They do that a lot in this game. Alright, we don't have time for reunions.
Yes, right you are. Sorry, Davin, but duty calls. Maybe I'll run into you again soon.
Of course, old man. Oh, wait. If you've been traveling in this sector, I suppose you heard about Sunry?
No, why? What's there to hear?
He's been picked up by the Selkath authorities on Manan for murder.
Dun dun
That's
dun.
preposterous.
I know. Laura is beside herself, as you can imagine. Maybe you could help them. I'm sure Sunray would appreciate a Jedi's assistance right about now.
Perhaps I will at that. It's up to my friend here, actually. I'm just tagging along.
Alright, well. You know, I did solve that awesome mystery in Tatooine, so totally up to this. We'll check into it when we're on Manan.
I'd appreciate that. Sunry's an old friend. I'd hate to see him hurt.
Same here. Well, it was good to see you again. Give my regards to Alora if you see her.
I will. Be safe, old friend.
Alright. Shipment. What shipment was that again? Gizka! No! No, I want it off. They got you loose? You, sir, are incompetent. These people are so beneath me. Why you guys suck at life so much? Alright, well, apparently we have Gizka on our ship. We'll deal with that later. Alright, now that we're here, we're going to switch our party up. We're going to have Bastila mission for a short while. In fact, we probably don't even need mission, but... Oh.
I'm here.
Well, I'm not going to bother
I'm
leveling
here.
these people right now, because like I said, this is not the save file you're looking for. Alright, so let's head to the Czerka Corporation, shall we? Because that is our first stop.
La boda ni winki smack toma. Wana kun bes jingpa ma rulira. Tok jingbang non kick. Tok ninja mulira rabes. Uba batu goji. Tong non bong shang yung yang. Tong katok smack delia.
Stop your shouting, fool. What's this about?
Kuya mi just kuna jitanai. Ina kun ma ma rulira rachikun. Slimo padona. Rundi hadonga chihonkabi. La boda ni winki smack toma. Wana kun bes jingpa ma rulira.
He's not very happy, is he? Alright, well.
Can I help you? If this is a...
Alright. Now we've got mission side quest here, and one of the cutscenes you missed with my old file not being saved and losing all the footage because the mic wasn't working right was triggering a thing about Mission's brother. We found out Mission's brother is here on Tatooine, so we're gonna ask about him first.
Griff? There's no Griff here. Never heard of him. No, I don't remember a single Griff on the Czerka Corporation payroll.
Well, that's convincing. You want to tell me about Griff?
Can you spare me a few moments? I have something I want to get off my chest. I want to tell you about one of our workers. His name was Griff. We hired that Twi'lek some time ago. Not a good worker, according to his crew chief. Always complaining and faking injuries to get out of work. He entered false timesheets and slept through his shifts. We even suspected him of stealing Czerka Corporation supplies, although we could never prove it.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
We would have fired him, but we needed workers. It would have been better for him if he had been fired. Then the Sand People wouldn't have gotten him.
The Sand People?
He was lost in a Sand People raid we suffered not too long ago. There were prisoners taken, but our rescue parties never found anyone alive. In the end, it just wasn't cost-effective to keep searching. All miners sign a waiver absolving Czerka Corporation of liability in these circumstances.
Alright. So, all your workers are expendable?
Czerka Corporation cares deeply for all of its employees. That's why we've started a bounty program to thin the Sand People numbers. We didn't find his body, so we have to assume he was taken prisoner. Whether he's still alive, I couldn't say. That's all I can tell you. I shouldn't even have said this much. This is all privileged corporate information. I could lose my job.
That's okay. I'm a good persuader. Don't feel bad. Alright. Is there some type of reward for saving him?
As I said, all employees have signed waivers absolving Czerka Corporation of any financial liability if this occurs. It is the industry standard. I suppose you could apply for special dispensation from the Czerka Corporation representative kiosk on Coruscant. Business hours only, please.
No, I'm not going to Coruscant. Alright, I want to ask you about something else.
Very well, though I do have...
Let's ask about the hunting licenses.
As I said, we are no longer selling them. There are too many people cavorting about outside the walls as it is.
Is there no way to get a license?
Well, normally we charge 200 credits, but I could make an exception if you agreed to perform a task for us. It's similar to hunting. The Sand People are becoming a problem. They destroy our sandcrawlers and kill our miners. One particular tribe is the worst. It's as if their chieftain has decided to wage war against us. I would like their attacks terminated. Bring me their gaffy sticks as proof. If you agree to do this, I'll give you a hunting license now and pay a bounty for each stick later. I'll give a bonus for the chieftains.
Oh, so you want me to murder? Why didn't you just say so? That's something I specialize in. Wahaha. Alright, I will agree to do this for you.
Excellent. Now, just so we understand each other, this is an enforceable contract. Czerka Corporation takes this very seriously. Here's your license, and a few directions. We believe one of their enclaves is in the far south of the Dune Sea. You might try following one of our sandcrawlers. They're regularly attacked. I wouldn't mind you escorting them.
Alright, well, I'll get to it then.
Very good. Czerka Corporation looks forward to your future business.
Czerka Corporation loves to talk in the third person. Hooray! Okay, this is actually where the, Oh, no, Bastila, you're the... Sorry, the cold's getting to me. This is the alternate reality Bastila that we don't care about. We'll go back to our normal save file after this episode, and we will be right back on track where we left off. So, anyway, I will see you guys in the next episode.